Right, so in this time comparison video, I'm going to work on this window with a 24-inch Ninja. I'm going to give Mr. Sorbo squeegee a little rest. We're going to go for a longer Ninja this time, and then we're going to go for a 22-inch Liquidator on this, and then we're going to go back over here and try and compare a 17-inch Liquidator on the first window again. So what I'm time comparing is how long it takes me to do, and how hard it is to do, and also how overall effect. So I'm guessing the second two attempts I'm going to get 0 detail, 0 mistake. We only worry about the glass with the time comparisons. We're not doing the proper job, and I would say that using a 24-inch Unger Ninja overall is easy to use. It's not a huge squeegee, but it is actually bigger than the 22-inch Liquidator, but the 22-inch Liquidator is a lot harder to do. But if you're able to control that Liquidator, then you're actually going to be working a lot harder, slower. With this, even though it's easier to use, so it's a bit of a brain conundrum. It's easier to use, but it ain't. It's only easy to use to get bad results. So let's time the actual squeegee, and we won't time the actual soaping up. And what we need to do is film and time also the actual detailing, but I'm not going to go straight up to the frame, bash the frame. Don't really need to hold this in my hand. All I'm doing is time comparing the actual squeegee, and this squeegee is wet, so all the squeegees will be wet to start with. And I think what we'll do is we'll start over here. That's the majority of how people tend to work. And as I said, we're working on pretty big windows, so we're using pretty big size squeegees. So let's try and compare this actual squeegee method, then we'll go on to the next window. So the time has started. So I'm getting this window done in very few strokes, but there is some detailing, some lifting happening on this window, and I'm not going to get a perfect result because I'll have to spend a lot longer time detailing here. I will give up now. That was 24 seconds, nearly 25 seconds, so 24 seconds 95, and there's still a few marks on there. So let's give that one a rest, and now we'll go for a 22-inch Liquidator. Just make sure there's no stones on there. Alright, so I'm going to soap up the window but not smash the frames. So I've got a wet washer with soap added to the washer. Make sure there's no debris on the window there. Right, so again, we're going to make sure this rubber is wet before we go, and we're just time comparing the actual squeegee. So let's put the tool in the right place at the right time. We don't need to work fast to get the result in the bag. Right, so to stop that, that was 12 seconds. Actually there's 0 detail, 0 mistake. So let's move over here and we'll go with a 17-inch. So what we want to time compare is it's the same person doing the same technique on the same size windows, but we're comparing milliseconds shaves time compared to tens of seconds shave time. So let's make sure this is all soaked up. So it's the same squeegee, and I should have said that both these Liquidators and accelerators are in -5. So let's make sure that the rubber is wet, and we'll start the clock. So I think the other one was 12 seconds, and I've got it in a slight pivot, but it's not pivoting like a wagtail will be pivoting. So the second attempt with the Liquidator was a lot easier to position because I've got more space, but I'm making much more movement. So the first was the biggest, different brand, so nearly the same size as the, oh, let's just put this straight here, nearly the same size, right? And what was it, 12 seconds versus 25 seconds, so I did it in less than half the time. But this time, from the Liquidator's 17-inch compared to the 22-inch Liquidator, it's actually 13 seconds. So I shaved off 1 second, but I managed to clean the window overall easier. And this overall was easier to use because it's a very much dumbed down tool. Like pretty much all the tools out there, it's for dumbed down, unskilled, uneducated window cleaners. That's not me being derogatory, that's just me saying what these tools are. And I worked over half the time, and we're working on the same size windows, we're doing the same type of technique, the same type of solution, we're just timing the actual squeegee motion, not the soaping up, nothing else, not the clearing up of the frame, just the motion on the glass. The last 2 attempts was done with 0 detail, 0 mistake. Doesn't matter if I'm using a wagtail or a Sorbo or a Unger or any other brand, you can't match with this. If you've got a certain ability, the same person doing the window cleaning, it's the same technique, but there's a huge amount of difference in the amount of detail work you get and how hard you have to work. Even if you're using a dumbed down tool like this, overall I'm working longer, harder, slower, getting less results.